Israel's military campaign in Gaza seen as among the most destructive in history, experts say. ASIC. IATED Press. The Israeli military campaign in Gaza, experts say, now sits among the deadliest and most destructive in history. In just over 2 months, the offensive has wreaked more destruction than the razing of Syria's Aleppo. Between 2012 and 2016, Ukraine's Mariupol or, proportionally, the Allied bombing of Germany in War II. It has bleeped more civilians than the US-led coalition did in its 3-year campaign against the Islamic State group. The Israeli military has said little about what kind. Below are your comments. Its origins trace back to October 7, 2023, when Hamas initiated hostilities and brutally bleeped 1,200 innocent Israeli civilians. The leadership of Hamas was democratically elected by the Palestinians in Gaza. Given the circumstances, expecting 0 civilian casualties is unrealistic, particularly. I suppose using the word proportionally allows the use of odd correlations. You can work statistics so that they fit what you want them to say rather than what really is. There is so much misinformation in this article. First, the comments about World War II in Syria are beyond absurd. Ask the people of Dresden, Germany, where 25,000–35,000 perished and the city was utterly destroyed in one night of Allied bombing. Also ask the people of Hiroshima, Berlin, Stalingrad, Okinawa. We choose the right munition for each target, so it doesn't cause unnecessary damage? Did he manage to say that with a straight face? It should be apparent to anyone that Israel's focus is to maximize destruction, and in doing so, minimizing casualties. Less than a week into this, an IAF offie. This will never be forgotten. Next news. Feds raided Rudy Giuliani's home and office in 2021 over Ukraine suspicions, unsealed papers show. Associated Press. Federal agents raided Rudy Giuliani's home and office in 2021 because they suspected the former New York City mayor had sought the removal of the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine partly because of the prospect of a financial reward from a Ukrainian official, according to documents made public Tuesday. The documents provide new detail on the since-concluded investigation into Giuliani's dealings with Ukrainian figures in the run-up to the 2020 presidential election. Giuliani, a longtime ally of former. Below are your comments. Several years ago, it was reported that Giuliani was receiving Russian money to fund his hunt for DRT on Biden. Recently, Ukrainian authorities arrested a group of Russian sympathizers it accused of, among other things, having received Russian funds to fund Giuliani's hunt. This all started with, well, we know Rudy ran a private security firm in Ukraine when Ukraine was controlled by a Putin-controlled government. He met and worked with some very shady people and continued that relationship when several of those people ended up here. Can't remember their names, but both were charged for Moan. And the winning continues. Happy holidays. Rudy and Trump have been trying to dig up dirt on Joe Biden for over 6 years now. And they still haven't found squat. Republicans complain about fiscal responsibility, then turn around and waste taxpayers' money on frivolous lawsuits because their mango messiah told them to. That's literally a bait and super patriotic America's mayor sold out his country. Next news. A deal on U.S. border policy is closer than it seems. Here's how it is shaping up and what's at stake. Associated Press. Amid grueling negotiations, the contours of a bipartisan border security and immigration deal are beginning to take shape, emerging even as Congress leaves town, having failed to publicly unveil any details of the package that's central to unlocking stalled aid for Ukraine. Talks between the White House and key senators have not veered widely from three main areas of discussion: toughening asylum protocols for migrants arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border, bolstering border enforcement with more people. Below are your comments. You can just about bet that no matter what agreement is reached, there will be politicians and activists who will claim that it's discriminatory, unfair, too restrictive, etc. 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 The rules and regulations must be firm and enforced. Let all nations that have had many leave their country to come to the USA know in advance that there are rules and that some nations' citizens will not be. Next news. Ukraine's Zelensky notes signs of slowdown in Russian military plans, industry. Reuters. Zelensky, in his nightly video address, said this was noted in a report issued by the HER Military Intelligence Directorate. There was a separate report from the HER, Zelensky said. Zelensky did not elaborate. Below are your comments. Stop it. Just stop it. This guy has everything that is fake. His name, his election, his presidency, his missions, his mansions, his life, his county, his soldi. His budget, his mind, his bank accounts, his existence, his online propagandas, his international video conferencing, his free plane fly. Speaking of slowing down, how is that Ukrainian offensive doing? Ex-comedian has his dream come true. He has become a real main actor in a sad tragic comedy stage where at least 500,000 real men have become dead or maimed. And he still doesn't want to stop the show. Next news. Russians storm Dnipro River's left bank and attack on 6 fronts, suffering losses, General Staff Rep. Ort. Ukrainska Pravda. Throughout the day, the Russian forces did not cease to attack the positions of Ukraine's armed forces on 6 fronts, as well as the left bank of the Dnipro River, where Ukrainian forces are entrenched. Below are your comments. Oh goody, a 3,000 plus cargo 200 day for Putin. What a nice Xmas present for Russian mothers and new widows. Drone Moscow. Putin gets that. I have an in-house bet about which will be liberated first, Bodanivka or Sinkovka. Meanwhile, the mopping up of Stepov continues at pace, and things are looking great around Novomikh, Ailovka and further up at Klesheyevka. This is what winning looks like. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.